Alright, hello there everyone, welcome to the stream. Today we are continuing our Thrawn's Revenge 3.0 or 3.1 preview playthrough as the Empire of the Hand, originally a 3.0 preview playthrough. I don't know that I've ever had a playthrough go across two different versions, or three different versions like that. At least as far as like what's released to the public at the time. But we are here having eliminated most of the Greater Maldruid. We've taken all the Maldruid territories in this area, and we are going to continue building them up. But our primary goal for the day is going to be to head into the core. So we are kind of doing well on resources, so that's good. But we have all of these Imperial planets to take in the core. The New Republic is actually doing kind of badly over here, so we don't have to worry about them as much. We're going to go in for them last. So Orlais and Coruscant are kind of the main ones to go for right now. We will grab our forces from Karita, which has given us probably too many of our commander units.
Moving to that destination.
But we also want to build up. Let's get Ferutessa and Matakasama here. And on Bilbringi, we are going to get Vector Prime and Look Ma, I'm on TV. And I guess we'll also throw in Ascendancy Warlord Star there. Because we can even go to Jameis and build Need a Really Big Stick, Enkar's Big Iron, and the Black Wolf. And here at Orinda, we should get some of our other units here too. We'll get Trash Compactor, Steadfast. Who needs Katana ships? And I will split up some of these guys. We don't need every one of our space minor heroes in this area. We'll keep the Victory for this one, and even a Kynagos, and move one of you over to our fleet over Kessel, because we did take out Mon Calamari and Hast last time as well. And we may as well get our shipyards there. I don't think anyone's going to attack us here at Kessel. I don't know that there's anyone really in a position to. Maybe the Empire, because they do have most of their territory connected through this way. We will scout out Orlais and Coruscant. And let's move you. I'll put you on Orico. We're going to build another fleet there. We're kind of just going to be building up a lot of these guys. See, because we have a lot of money coming. I do want to do some pretty major economic reworks in 3.2, or the 0.2 updates in general. So that will probably be a thing. I'll move back to Karita. There's no reason to keep him back here. But yeah, so there's a lot that's going to be going on in the 0.2 update. So that'll cover a pretty broad range. Alright, Orlais isn't too bad for us. We just need some ground forces, which will pull over our Castellian army to Bilbringi. And we have a lot of our ground production in this area. So let's see.
Training troops.
Unit in production.
There we go.
Ascendancy at the ready.
By the time they're over here, let's get you. Let's get some of you. No, we don't actually need more Gilzians for this ground force, because we got those three plus whatever we're bringing over. And you know what? I'm actually going to grab these guys as well. We're going for some pretty big ground battles. or some pretty big invasions.
Orders confirmed.
When is 3.1 coming out? So the release date for 3.1 will be coming pretty soon. I'll probably have a video about it this week. An announcement for that.
Enemy forces ahead.
Choose your reinforcements.
Alright. Bring in our command. Oh, it's not good. Alright. Fortessa and Vector Prime. We're gonna have to do this quickly.
Syndic moving out. Destroyer en route. Looking lost, heading out.
Who needs katana ships? Grey Ghost.
Coordinates, Commander. Yes, Commander.
Go after the strike.
And Ascendancy Warlord Star can go in with Steadfast
Cruiser moving out.
and Trash Compactor in the back. We want some more anti-fighter, so Mr. Boo.
To those coordinates.
Those are TIE Defenders. And I want you guys shooting at
Destroyer comms open.
the Golan, if you can.
What do you need, sir?
I got one.
But yeah, we do want to prevent these guys from going to help at Coruscant.
Target acquired. Yes, Commander. Getting a lock. Ready to receive
And we're
orders.
taking a ton of damage here. Alright, stop them.
Stay in formation.
Go. You can finish that off.
Gunship reporting. Awaiting your orders.
Target locked.
Yes, Commander. Firing on my weapon systems.
Eliminating
Destroyer
target.
comms open.
Alright,
Fire.
into the shipyard.
Coming around.
What do you need, sir?
Got them in my sights. Target
Ready to receive
Come on,
orders.
just shoot the station, please.
Ascendancy at the ready.
You may as well focus on that one.
Standby. Engines are out, sir.
Stay in formation. Locking on.
And
Star Destroyer comms open.
Get behind.
powered weapons. You have enough range on there.
Target
Ready
locked.
to receive orders.
Eliminating
Fire
target.
sequence engaged. Next Star Destroyer here.
With those guys, finishing that off. Alright,
Battery is online. Commander, they're hitting us.
Awaiting your orders.
Where'd he go?
see if that can leave before they get in, because otherwise it's dead.
Nowhere to run.
Ascendancy at the ready.
I got
Thrawn would approve.
falling out of formation.
Actually, did I put... No, I don't think I put the named units into the
Got them in my sights.
into the library. So for this one, we don't get the abilities on our named units.
Journey clock.
And this is a named one. Or sub to my OnlyFans.
Intercepting. Enemies in
We
range.
do got a Hapen Raid fleet.
Target locked.
Star Destroyer comms open.
I'm on them. Stay in formation. Get behind them. I have them now. I'm on them. Eliminating target.
Alright,
Moving to attack.
My sights.
Awaiting your orders.
and we just gotta clear out the rest of these
By
forces, and we might want to turn around, start cracking some battle dragons.
Ascendancy at the ready. Firing sequence engaged. Yes, Commander. Heavy crew.
They are going to be a fair bit of a threat. You're full still. Yeah, just powered weapons so you can kill it faster.
Enemies in range. I have them now.
Where do you get the inspiration for ship models that don't have an official design? We try to base as much as we can off of any given descriptions, or if there's other ship designs we do know about for a faction, then we try to take those into account and kind of base things off of the design language from that. But it really is more of a case-by-case basis kind of situation.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Yeah, you're not leaving.
Cruiser on standby.
Battle dragons are scary, so if we can kill these before they get into range.
Cruiser. Opening fire. Yes, Commander. All batteries fire on the top. Ready to receive orders.
You get a second shot off on that.
Ascendancy at the ready.
You go for this one.
Star Destroyer comms open. Firing sequence engaged.
They are very vulnerable to like single high target projectiles because they don't have hard points.
Awaiting your
Or they don't have targetable hardpoints. Will they have some kind of ISD or VSD or Venator or Actor? No, they will not be able to build any of those. We'll probably have boarding shuttles, but you're not going to be building any of those units. They have their own fully unique roster. The ISDs that Hapens had in lore were ISDs that they'd captured. So it's not stuff that they were building. And that would be how we represent them more in game. And we kind of say this with every faction when this comes up, where it's like post Endor, most groups did end up capturing at least a few ISDs and we see them used. But there's already so many factions where you can use ISDs that for gameplay reasons, we want to have different factions be different. We don't just want them to all be like 37 different ways to use ISDs. It's not especially interesting. There's enough Imperial factions.
Yes, Commander.
Star Destroyer reporting in. Standing by. Reporting in.
All right.
Navigating to coordinates.
I should have just sent you guys in.
Ready for battle. All fighters. Yes.
Surprising loss of a Syndic. That's
What do you need?
is what it is.
All batteries fire on the top.
Raid fleets
Heavy cruiser on standby.
decided to show up.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Gotta kill the rest of these guys. Well, we don't have to, but we're enjoying killing the rest of these guys. Right, we lost Mr. Boo, subbed to my OnlyFans, and look, Ma, I'm on TV. They put up a good fight, but in the end, this wasn't meant to be.
Reporting. Constructing unit.
Like that Linkin Park song, in the end, it wasn't meant to be.
Construction complete.
Yes, this is a preview of the next version of Thrawn's Revenge, Patrick, though it is a month or two out of date itself by now.
Underway. Reporting.
Alright. Orlais, the gateway to the core.
Invasion commencing.
Reporting.
Choose your
There have been some changes to the airstrikers, so they are both slightly bigger, which means they're easier to hit. And the power to weapons abilities are no longer going to be a thing on these guys on the ground or on the airspeeders.
Advancing.
So I'm going to abuse them while I can.
Ready to go. Commander? All weapons loaded. Awaiting orders. Squad, move out. Ready, sir.
We bring down 3 or 2. This another one? Yeah.
Ready for orders. Scouting location. Ready. T4P ready.
And one of you should go there.
Give me the target. Roger that. Executing pylon.
We secured an abandoned
No, 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 no. Get out of there. You guys, get out of there.
Roger that. Right away. Take the entering battle. Copy. Warm up. Moving out.
We're going to kill
Ground target locked.
this first. Right, now get back that way.
Roger.
And you guys can come out here. A lot of
Engaging target.
infantry paths on this map. It's a very infantry-y map. But we did figure out why the crush box on this guy was so big. and why you can do dumb bullshit like this. So that has been fixed. But again, another thing that I'm going to abuse while I can. So apparently, when you use the scale factor in the XML code to resize these guys, to resize units, it doesn't change the size of the crush box directly, which is interesting. So that is fun.
Squad, advance. Roger. All out, troops.
And it has been addressed. Why do most factions have to wait 10 seconds to retreat in space, but the Empire of the Hand only needs 5? The Empire of the Hand had really complete, like, really good mapping and information. So the way we've decided to represent that is partially through the use of faster retreats from ground battles, or from space battles, rather. Which also helps reflect them as kind of a faction that is based on a lot of speed. Like, they have... a lot of their units have high ranges and fast speeds, rather than being especially focused on like pure power. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, button I want to press. I guess we can have the field commander in as well. Will the Chiss Ascendancy be playable, and how would it differ from the Empire of the Hand? So, the Chiss, like, basically our plan with all factions is to start them off as non-playable, and then flesh them out into the point that they would be able to be playable, and, like, make them playable when they hit that point. So, the Chiss will have some overlap with the Empire of the Hand. At first, they'll share a good chunk of units that we do have... a couple that are exclusive to the Chiss land, some that are already modeled even. And so there will be at least 3 unique Chiss units on their first appearance as a non-playable faction, which is pretty considerable amount. And then they'd have their own unique government mechanics, and they'd get more unique units and everything, so it'd be the kind of thing that kind of changes and progresses as we go.
There they are.
Shoot them. They run by. We need to kill the AA turret. Alright, I will pop you in there. And we'll use this in conjunction with the artillery. But I'll send some people into the path anyways. Can you hit from there? Yep, there you go. And we're leaving. Lost the Gilzian. We have a bunch of them.
Beginning construction.
And I think this fleet is equipped to take on Coruscant. They have an ion cannon, but they'll probably want to shoot the Kynagos, because their logic for that was still kind of weird.
Battle imminent.
They had a decent fleet here, but not the bad, like not something that I'm especially worried about taking us on. The Empire is probably the strongest faction still left, maybe the Ariado Authority once we've started like picking away at the Empire here. Oh right, hypervelocity gun, not an ion cannon.
Heavy cruiser.
I don't know why I said ion cannon. Or why I was thinking ion cannon. Let's see if we can come in from this side. Tessa... Do they have a Golem 3? They do have it on that side. Fleet Commander.
Location
Really
locked.
big
Heading out.
step. Vector
We're
Prime.
moving out.
Ascendancy Warlord Star.
Engines disabled. We're adrift, sir.
Another raid fleet. Maticus Sama.
Understood.
In you go.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Alright, let's try to crack some of the strike cruisers that way.
Attack.
Syndic Star Destroyer here.
Ready for duty.
Ready to receive orders.
We'll see what we can do against these other units while we do this.
Commander.
We'll jump in a bit more support afterwards.
Sir.
Awaiting orders. Copy.
And bombers head that way.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Ooh, they have... Oh, I guess that'd be the
Thrawn would approve.
Valaduja.
Awaiting your command.
Alright, kill that.
Star Destroyer comms open. Mega Mazers primed.
Locking
Fire
on.
sequence.
Try to take out the shields on as many of these as possible. And we might even force them to try to kite.
Thrawn would approve.
Get behind them.
Syndic Star Destroyer here. Destroy the hangar.
And it'll be easy enough for us to kill them as they come in.
Fire.
Choose your reinforcements.
Alright, that means Sunni's Katanas, Steadfast, and Trash Compactor are going to come in and hit them in the strike cruisers from this side. Just going to shred all these units that have had their shields taken out by our artillery.
At the ready. Star Destroyer comms open. Mega Mazers primed.
Fire.
Where'd he go?
Open fire. Attack back. Our target priority is direct fire.
And
Laser cannon.
Coming around.
Ready to receive orders.
you can come in a little, not that much more.
Thrawn would approve.
Heavy cruiser.
Do have to worry about this VSD.
Fire for
Ascendancy at the ready.
Can I get you on that one? 'Cause you guys are doing okay here. Well, mostly okay here.
waiting orders.
Position lock. Intercepting.
Definitely had a slightly better start.
Ready to receive orders.
Awaiting your orders.
Alright, yeah, we're good. You can switch back over to the strike cruiser, or yeah, to the strike cruiser. You on this one. You there, because we're gonna get one of you to finish off the rest of it.
Get behind them. Reboot for another attack.
Ready to receive orders.
Destroyer here.
I have them now.
Engines disabled. We're adrift, sir.
Taking fire.
I copy.
I'm losing.
Heavy cruiser.
Yes, sir.
Alright, go for the bombers.
Yes, sir. Open fire. Where'd he go?
You'd have to be a bit more specific, Jojo reference.
Disabled. We're adrift, sir.
Sir, I'm detected.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Falling out of formation.
Yes, Commander.
Draw their fire. Attack formation.
Star Destroyer standing by.
I got it, sir. Yes, Commander.
Alright, we're very low on fighters.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
We should be able to start pulling apart this Valaduja.
Focus fire on the heavy gun.
Destroyed.
Ready to receive orders. Ascendancy at the ready.
What you need, sir?
He's coming around.
Firing on my weapon system.
Taking fire.
Heavy cruiser on standby. Opening
Okay,
fire.
you guys need to stay on here.
Destroy their main batteries.
Where'd he go? Destroyer position.
Like, there are a lot of mechanics.
Nowhere to run.
No, we don't want to do the raids like that. That is something that exists in the base game, and we don't use it. Like the rebel raid mechanics
Ready to receive
are a factional mechanic of the rebels in the base game, and it's
Heavy cruiser.
not something that I'm especially fond of.
Awaiting your orders.
All the episodes should be on the channel, Patrick.
Thrawn would approve.
Awaiting your command.
Any consideration for making small but planet-dense GCs, like for certain regions of the galaxy? There are some GCs that are like that. Like the one we just did for the Republic in the single stream GC on Friday for Dirge's Lance. That's a pretty planet-dense, core-focused GC.
Gun them
Ready
down.
to receive orders.
Yes, Commander. Firing on target.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Ready, let's finish him. Getting a lock.
Reporting in.
Watch your back.
Roger that. Yes, Commander. Attack position. Form up. The lasers are on target.
Heavy
Okay.
cruiser.
Star Destroyer con open.
Destroyer.
Ready to receive orders.
How's the shields for this? Need to adjust that on these guys as well so that you can see it better when they're on the screen.
Copy. Ready.
We're being targeted.
Intercepting.
Intercepting.
Like more GCs will possibly come at some point, but like we're trying more to focus on fleshing out what's there rather than doing a ton more GCs, because they can be a bit difficult to
Squad, move in. Gunship reporting.
like do all the reworks, all the updates on a bunch of different GCs at once.
Awaiting your orders.
Right, the raid fleet's coming in, and it's a pretty powerful one. Plan on adding planets from Fall of the Republic into TR at some point. Would be cool to see some of those maps in Cards of War. So any planet that's in one mod is technically in the other. It's just when we're designing the maps, we try to pick the planets that are most relevant for whatever we're doing. Because having a bunch of planets is one of the easier ways to get a bunch of lag in Empire at War. Okay, I think we need to retreat because we're just going to get messed up here. Before we lose that Intigo. But like, there's not really many places that, say, Umbara or planets like that would be worth adding to a Thrawn's Revenge GC, because there's generally like better options for those individual slots. So when there's other planets that fit the Galactic Conquest more, it's kind of hard to justify the presence of like a Geonosis or Umbara or Hypori, when there's like other planets in more relevant areas or areas that need more space filled, or planets that'll serve more of a purpose for the mod itself. This guy. Will Alsacon ever show up on a FOTR or TR map? Alsacon is in Fall of the Republic on multiple maps.
Choose your reinforcements.
Right, Peltist. Need a really big stick. Vector Prime. Rutessa. Fleet Commander. Crap.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Awaiting your command. Your command.
Ready for command, sir.
Not ideal. Atacusama. Tennessee Warlord Star. Saw the ship in half.
Those coordinates.
And Empire on the other hand.
Commander. The lasers are our target.
Well, we'll at least have a fighter advantage this time. Because it was getting to the point where the chip damage from all the fighters was starting to be a pretty big factor for us there as well.
What do you need, sir?
Alright, stop here. Like the main area where there'd be planets that are typically less relevant would be when we want to expand a certain area to have like more planets in a specific area. So in the south there's more of a chance for that, and in the core. Like for planets in the north, those are typically ones where it's already pretty full. But it also depends on like where the factions are, because we try to have a certain distribution per faction per start as well. Right, get in there.
Enemy forces. Taking them out. Engaging enemy.
Target priority is the laser.
Yeah, as chat's mentioning, there have been some new Vindicator, Enforcer, Immobilizer models that have been shown off in the Discord and will be in the release, but aren't in this build right now. There's one more ship in that kind of line that we haven't shown yet, I don't think. I don't think the 417's been shown. they're going for that. Well, they took out the engine, 2 of the engines on that. That was a pretty lucky shot for them there, if I was going to try to retreat. But we've also still got a couple more, so not too big a deal. Right, I'm just alt-tabbing there to tap back in. Not crashing.
Yes, Commander, reporting in.
I have them down. I'm on them.
Star Destroyer Thrawn open.
Locking on.
I've never tried the multiplayer summon, and we don't have anything to do with it, so I have no idea how well it works for what it is.
Taking fire.
Primary target is
Systems ready. Thrawn
Eliminating
Sending
target.
Star Destroyer here.
I'm on this hull.
I got one. Intercepting.
Opinion on what if Walter White from Breaking Bad changed Anakin as a Jedi? I don't think that would work very well,
Get behind.
because
Star Destroyer
I don't think Walter White is Force sensitive,
Mega laser forward.
which would be a pretty big barrier to it.
Yes, Commander.
Locking on.
Ready to receive orders.
Roger that. The missile
Reporting
launchers
in.
If I'm being honest.
Ready for duty. Enemies in range.
holding fire. Maximum effect.
Alright, what are you going to be HV gunning? Alright, that's fine, that's fine.
Firing sequence engaged.
Destroyer here.
What do you need, sir? We've lost
Eliminating
our
target.
Star Destroyer comms
You fall back there, you go up a bit more. We got the station,
ready to receive orders.
just got to take out the shipyard now. Let me select you, damn it.
Where'd he go?
Reporting.
Got them in my sights.
Star Destroyer standing by.
Sending Star Destroyer here.
Awaiting order.
Getting a lock.
Almost class carrier here, Admiral.
That was actually very close to dying for some reason.
Systems at the ready.
No. Yeah, I think this was still on one of the builds where we had to auto-resolve at the end for ground-to-space weapons, which has been fixed. We haven't announced the release date yet, Patrick. How many new unplayable minor factions will be in 3.1? 0. There will probably be some in 3.2 that we finish, or not finish, but like get in as minor factions. But there aren't any new ones for 0.1. I think that in the future, Empire of the Hand will have more ground units. Not in the near future. Like their ground reworks will first focus on getting a core roster redone for them, which I mean focusing on like redoing the ones that are there already. But beyond that, like they'd have a good chance of getting more after we've done some other things. Like there's not like a hard cap on where they are right now, basically. And it is time for the invasion of Coruscant.
The invasion commencing.
Macleth has been killed. Greater Maljuda has conquered camp. We might have to take Kuat. Well, we could just go from here to Biss. Well, let's see what we can do. I really don't like this Coruscant map, and I really want us to replace it.
Up.
Yes, Commander.
Choose your reinforcements.
Moving at full speed now.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Way she goes, way the road, all that.
Reporting. Awaiting orders. Ready. Yes, sir. Standing by. Roger.
In Era 5, can the NR get more ISDs to be weapons accurate? I mean, you can get as many ISDs as you capture.
Loading. Over there. Scouting location. Attack. Fire. Open fire. Executing flight. Attack that target. Attacking target. Fire at will. Copy. Attacking. Targeting. En route. Firing. Moving to coordinates.
Reporting in. Roger that.
We're gonna get some vision on that one. And then we can use the artillery a bit more effectively. Move you up a little bit more. Can we please grab this too? And now I will grab us a military field base. Oh, what's there? We've recaptured it. Oh, I actually managed to click on that correctly. That's an EAW miracle. Let's see if we can clear out some of these guys.
Ready for attack. Moving out. Heading out. All out. Yes, Commander.
Grab there.
Let's move out. Initiating sweep.
What is this? Okay, this is actually just a corporation. So they aren't getting anything tactically out of that.
Weapon online. Keep going. Attack.
Construction.
Fire. Open fire. This way.
How are you doing? Pretty good. Move down. And let's see if we can get... Ooh, there's Palpatine. Here comes the Papa. Kind of fucked. Shit.
Ready to go. Commander. Attacking target. Over there. Scouting location. Fire at will. Copy. Targeting. Firing. En route.
Still have some shields. Here, you know what? Let's see if we can keep them still. Shit. Get out of there. Don't melee him. Karnor and Palpatine ended up still being too strong. But... well, we're kind of screwed. I hate this map, so I'm just gonna...
Building started.
Alright. Good job, auto-resolve.
over.
I want to take this more than I want to take Imperial territory right now, and Kuat. We do need another force in the core. Well, let's try to get some of the good old vision. Oh, the Empire took Kashyyyk, so they're gonna still be fighting each other there. Ascendancy Warlord Star. Let's get 2 phalanxes for this one. We'll get Syndic and Intigo and Erfodio. And we will get, Instant makes me feel good, Froro Froyo, Rampager, 21 just Dreadnought model. Now speak to Ormos, Shockwave, just best friend. We will get Belfast. We will get Rise of the Federation. And we will get Arlani's second favorite. Should you stay or should you go? Then we want some anti-fighter, so we'll get Mr. Boo. Go to my OnlyFans.
Thanks, heavy destroyer stands ready.
Alright, so we'll let that extra force kind of build up. And build there. An HV gun, just in case they decide to attack. See what we got at Kuat. See what we got at Biss. Said, let's see what we got at Biss. There we go. Kuat's not terrible.
Ormos class carrier here, Admiral.
Rustai, the New Republic is deciding to attack. We have an HV gun. This could be fun. Since we did do like the full campaign stream on Friday and have a bunch of other episodes, we're probably not going to go super long today. Okay, Vantai. I might have targeted that too early. Might have a chance to get away. Yeah, I fucked that up.
Orders, sir. Ready for command, sir. Engines activated. TIE squadron standing by. Location plotted. Ready for battle. Firing.
Okay.
For the Empire.
Alright, Vantai. Take it again. That was so close to killing the 3 best hardpoints there. Or 3 of the 4 best hardpoints. Actually, it was close to killing all 4, because this is the light turbo, not the octuple on that side.
Roger that.
That's nice.
Primed. Form up. Falling out of formation. Draw their fire. I'm
This is not Snoke. This is a Duros named Keir Vantai.
Attack formation. Stay in formation. Enemies in range. Go after the stragglers.
Okay.
Another attack.
We'll keep you on some of these smaller ships. You just gotta hold off against the ISD for... Like, maybe if we can hit the heavy weapons with the next HV gun.
Our space station is under attack.
The other ship model, so they have some other Bakura class destroyers here, which they've used a few times. These are new influence units. So these you get with 10 influence on Bakura. Okay, nice. I couldn't really have asked for that to go better.
Get behind them. I have them now.
It's still not going great for us, but I couldn't have asked for it to go better with that shot. And we're screwed. Will Pathfinding get patched up some TR soon? AOTR summons. So what AOTR did, they're saying they made the collision meshes smaller. It's not like an actual change to the pathfinding calculations. Our collision meshes are already pretty tight around the unit, so I don't think we'd get any bonuses in that direction. I do kind of want to change the bounding box scales in the XML and see if that helps units not want to go around each other as much. But it wasn't really like a change to the actual functions of pathfinding, so it's not necessarily something we'd be able to do in the same way, or that everyone would be able to do in the same way. It really depends, like, what the shapes of their collision meshes were before.
Back around for another run.
Getting aligned.
Ready. Moving to attack the ion cannons.
Will we even be able to kill Vantai?
Falling out of formation.
Let's try... Well, I don't think we'll finish him off, even if this does hit. He might be dodging here. Nope. Yeah, we need another shot, which we're not going to get. All right. Too bad. We get more name ships that aren't heroes, like the Megador and the Lucid Voice. There are a couple areas where we might expand the use of that. There are a few notable ships that could benefit from that kind of thing.
Moving to that destination. Heavy cruiser on standby.
Imminent.
Alright. Like, the New Republic only has 2 planets that have access to us, and they're gonna have to drain a lot of their forces to do this, so... The Empire get the current ships to conquer it? Yep. If anyone conquers it, as long as they get to...
Your reinforcements.
210 influence, they're able to build the ships from those kind of things. They aren't faction specific.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Understood. Decoding your transmission.
Hypervelocity
To what extent did the Petroglyph patch help? Has it been useful? Yes, it's been very useful. The main thing that it's changed that you guys will notice in this release is some stuff that allows us to handle parts of our framework different, which will mean some better performance on the galactic level. So like with our framework in particular, there was a lot that we had to do interacting with dummy secondary structures, which meant that we had to spawn and despawn and track a lot of them, which contributed to a good chunk of the lag that happens on the week change as well as throughout the week. This is used for influence stuff, but it's also used for like the build bar filters and all that. And the fact that with the Petroglyph patch you are now able to specify OR conditions for required structures means we're able to remove a lot of those. Because like the AI doesn't need build bar filters, so we don't need to spawn every build bar filter for the AI. We just spawn one thing that denotes that that is an AI planet, and from there the AI is able to build what they need to build, which saves us like literally hundreds, if not thousands, of structures that we're spawning and tracking, which really handy.
Yes, Commander.
Stay in formation. Get behind them.
Excellent shot.
All batteries fire on the target.
But there's also some changes to like factions and some other stuff that'll have more of an impact in future releases.
victorious.
On standby.
Some longer term changes.
Available.
Bang's heavy destroyer stands ready.
There'll probably be some ground units coming in there.
Syndic moving out.
Vectors set.
Prolipsy ready and
There are some cases in the build that I'm playing right now, Rayon, where you can build stuff that would otherwise have a structure requirement that isn't present at the moment. So if we look at Mandalore, for example, the fact that we're able to build the Kadal base, even though we didn't have a shipyard there before, it's just because the change that was helpful for the ore requirement also meant if you have a variant unit, so a lot of units are coded as, like, if you have an ISD hero, you'd code that ISD hero as a variant of an existing type, so a variant of the ISD. And before, you used to be able to change build requirements with that, and it would work fine. After the patch, it has made it so that if you are inheriting a build requirement, it just gets rid of them for both, and you can build them with whatever special structures you have, which is why I was able to build the Kadal bays when we weren't, or where we aren't full influence. And that has been fixed as we've gone through more development. Like, this build was like right after the patch, but that's why you may see some things that you'd otherwise need other requirements to build in the game when you're playing yourself. So let's get an interdictor in each of these fleets.
Coordinates
For
set in.
you, I think I already sent one to you. My bad.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
What do we want for this fleet now? Oh, hey, there they are. Too bad we don't have the interdictor already. Jesus Christ. Well, Endor and Bakura are going to be really empty after this if we can kill these.
Ready for battle.
Will the vassal state mechanic be part of TR in the future? It depends on what we're able to do with other implementations of ally mechanics.
Moving out. Awaiting orders.
I don't think we're going to be able to kill anything.
Hypervelocity cannon firing.
Maybe we can kill a few of these this way. Well, the AA might still have been refusing to retreat at this point with the transports.
They're falling back.
The Vengeance class SSD been removed. It's been aged since I last saw them on. Nope. It got a new model in the last version for both the hero and generic versions. It's just you used to get Jarek with the Vengeance and you'd get it all for free, but now the Pentastar alignment has to actually pay for Cisco as a separate hero from Vengeance. It's kind of sad that we don't get... Well, they're retreating, so we might be able to get there fast. Oh well. I'm not going to worry about it yet. For Revan's Revenge, you're looking at a wider ship variety for factions like in TR, or more focused arsenals like in Fall of the Republic. Because of the era, it'll probably end up being more... This one going over there? No. Okay. Because of the era, it'll probably end up being more of a focused thing. Like, there's only so many designs there, and we want to keep the factions on a relatively tighter, even footing.
Australia-class frigate here.
Shit. Missed it. Well, I think we're good for Biss. About to invade Rygar.
Ready. Location locked. Heading out.
Moving.
And Okay, next, been a while since I've tuned in. Nice to see you. Were there ever aspirations to make a mod that covers from the Republican CIS era to Vong War era? Not as a single mod. You don't really benefit much from putting them all together, because like having a GC that progresses that way would mean a lot of having to reset as you go, because it's different factions. Like the Clone Wars, you like beat the entire game and then do you just flip half the planets? So you may as well load into a new GC, and at that point you may as well do better mechanics that suit each era rather than trying to lump it all in together. So that's not really something that's on our radar that we'd want to do. Like the Vong War will fit into TR. Imperial Reign will be a much different mod focusing on the Galactic Civil War, because that requires somewhat different mechanics than the kind of gameplay you'd typically have in TR and FOTR. We got Bakuras and Namanas here. Little Namanas. Shit.
Tactical battle imminent.
This. Some allegiances, or an allegiance at least. And they'll have a dreadnought shipyard here, so kind of scary. I should have ported over the planet changes. They do look much better.
Reinforcements.
All right, do they have an HV gun here? Seem like it.
Velocity cannon.
Understood.
Yep, they do. They do have one.
We are hang on.
Right away. Destination confirmed.
What do you need, sir?
I'll have to jump into the side here.
Receive orders.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Let's try to take them as they come on this side.
Head full.
Drop some of our anti-fighter over here. Saw the ship in half, and on the other hand there.
Awaiting your orders. Attack that target.
Yeah, we can actually probably kill this on the way in.
Attacking the laser.
And get our bombers on the ISD.
Ascendant Zetha ready.
Well, you can start shooting the ISD as well. Nope, don't move for it. Will the Mandator 2 and Mandator 3 be limited to the Empire only, related to be any other factions? The Empire of the Hand heroes do not... Well, they do change a bit as you progress, but there's not that many characters associated with them. And that's even with us taking some liberties with it. Like,
We're moving out.
making Aralani strictly Empire of the Hand rather than... well, she'll end up being on Chiss, but yeah, there's some, like, Jag and Chakfel that show up, Oryx Sav and Hand of Judgment. But it's not a huge swath of new characters every era like you end up with in some of the other factions.
Full speed.
But Mandator 2, we have no plans to be buildable in TR for anyone. Mandator 3 will very likely just be limited to the
Ready to receive orders.
Megador,
Sequence engaged.
rather than like a buildable regular unit. Our hard points divided in terms of power. All her heavy turbo lasers equal except for range and rate of fire. Is it more nuanced? So accuracy varies by ship. By roll. Range varies by ship and by roll. Typically, like a heavy turbo laser is going to be more accurate against larger stuff. But I want to do a bit more differentiation on this. But like, different weapon types, different ships have different ranges, different accuracies against varying types. So there are some ships that are going to be better at taking out smaller ships, some that are going to be better at taking out larger ships, some that are going to be better at range, some that are going to be better at close range.
Yes, Commander. Awaiting your orders.
It's very ship dependent and weapon type dependent.
Journey class frigate here. Yes, Commander.
We are going to be making more of a note of some of those stats, particularly range, in tooltips in the next update, because it is something that's a bit more obscure but very impactful. Like the Empire of the Hand as a faction is kind of built around the fact that they are able to sit so far back. But a lot of players end up not really knowing that. And the same thing with like the Nebula Star Destroyer, where it has 3,500 range, which is significantly higher than most other units in the game, which allows it to very easily sit behind tankier ships and just put out some of the most damage in the game. But a lot of players end up not really knowing that. What the fuck are you doing? Alright, we are going to retreat.
Engines are off, sir.
Yeah, we lost a lot there.
We forced the hangar.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like going on face cam today.
Building started.
Revan's side will probably change throughout the GC. Like, it'll... Whichever faction you're playing as, you'll have a chance for Revan to be fighting for you.
Construction.
Location locked. Heading out.
Probably going to re-invade with that one.
Underway.
This fleet had taken some knocks already. But like, if you're playing as the Sith Empire, you're like, if you're using Revan, you're going to be using dark side Revan. You're not going to have like dark or light side Revan Sith Emperor or something like that. All right, let's try that again.
Construction
Construction complete.
Imperial Reign or Revan's Revenge the bigger priority? Neither is necessarily the bigger priority. They need different things, so it's generally like, if someone really wanted to do something art-wise, then Revan's Revenge would be the one for that, because that's more of a, we need assets before we can build up too much of the other gameplay around it and do the coding around it. Whereas Imperial Reign, we have so many assets from TR that'll be shared. And like, there are a few things like Vader and the Death Star that we need, but those are also present at least in the base game. So we have asset access there. So like, coding wise, more would be going on with Imperial Reign. So it's generally going to be different people doing different stuff. When, like, right now, I'm the only one that has the Imperial Reign build, because it's mostly me doing
Heading out.
strange experimental things.
Coordinates
But
received.
We'll get there.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Location locked. Heading out.
that'll change a bit. Once I have something a bit more presentable, then I'm going to send it to the team with all my fun and wacky things. We'll be cleaning it up from there, solidifying the features a bit more.
Destroyer comms open.
Don't really have much in the way of fighter or anti-fighter in this. We have a few carriers.
Heavy cruiser moving out.
Sodio. And another phalanx on this side. Go over there. That.
Sending moving out.
Stay in formation. Get behind them. I have them now.
Bombers on you.
Enemies
You're still holding up for us, so thank you for that.
What do you need, sir? Awaiting new
We're in this side.
Awaiting your command.
coming around.
Ready to receive orders.
And let's see if we can knock them down a little bit.
Regroup for another attack.
Revan's Revenge will be similar to AOTR in the game? No. Revan's Revenge will be more similar to like TR and Fall of the Republic.
Your command, sir. Fire at will.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Intercepting. I'm on them.
Commander.
What's this raid fleet? Actually, that's a pretty decent raid fleet.
Behind them. I have them now.
Alright, let's finish off this
Reporting in. attacking.
You know what, I'm gonna send this Intigo back.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Ready to go, sir.
Okay.
Ties
Ready
reporting.
to receive orders.
Like, nothing against AOTR, just that's not what we're modeling Revan's Revenge after.
Heavy destroyer stands ready. Vectors set.
Roger that. We shall be there shortly.
I'm losing. I got one.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Decoding your transmission.
What do you
Right.
need, sir?
Keep on that.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Locking up.
Attack the engines.
Sights.
And we can't retreat yet.
Destroyer
The
here.
enemy's in range.
Star Destroyer
Target
comms
locked.
open.
Awaiting your orders.
Crap.
Next Star Destroyer here.
We're in a bad position right now.
Sir.
Let's try to keep these fighters out of there.
Eliminate.
And we can drop in Ascendancy Warlord Star back here to help them, along with Rampager and 2021 just Dreadnought model in kind of central location.
Commander,
Yes,
hitting
Commander.
us. Where'd he go?
Thanks, heavy destroyer stands ready.
Right away.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Falling out of formation.
Firing sequence engaged.
What do you need, sir?
Transmission.
Draw their fire.
We have mods for Phantom units, like we have cannon units, like say EC Henry's extrapolation on background ships or fractal sponges stuff. So a lot of EC Henry's extrapolations on background ships would be valid for us to use as just regular units because they are based on the actual ships. Stuff like the Imperialized Nebulon B that he did wouldn't really be something that we'd use or would be valid. But there's a lot of assets that we already have to make for just like the core functions of the mods as we want to make them.
Another attack.
So I don't know how much time or how many resources we'd have to put into a bunch of extra asset packs outside of that when there's like so much to do for all the upcoming factions and everything. Like the cannon unit stuff we were building or we were making because we wanted to use those for other things. So they weren't solely built to make those unit sets.
Location locked. Heading out.
Let's go back in.
Orders confirmed.
If there's stuff that we don't need for literally anything else that people really want to make, then that kind of thing may end up as a unit pack, but we're not like actively planning to do that for much.
They're over here.
Choose your
Alright.
reinforcements.
Fallout.
Coordinates received.
We'll get there.
We're in a better position this time.
Destroyer en route.
Awaiting new instructions, Commander.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Thanks, heavy destroyer stands
The
ready.
lasers are our target.
Decoding your transmission.
We won't need the
Heavy cruiser
interdictors for
moving
this.
On standby. Starting our attack run.
Orders confirmed.
on. Advancing
Let's
to
get the
that
commander in.
Star Destroyer comms open. Thrawn would approve. Ready to receive orders. Mega Masers primed. Firing sequence
Yes,
engaged.
Commander.
Awaiting new instructions,
What do you need,
Commander.
sir?
Ascendancy
Alright,
at the ready.
we can pull up a bit. Just the garrisons now.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Ready to receive orders.
Yeah, Empire of the Hand is definitely like
Star Destroyer here.
quick strikes, back out if you have to, try to maneuver around the enemy, that kind of faction, rather than being
Orders.
just straight up looking for a brawl.
All batteries fire.
Because they don't have, in particular, their defensive stats are quite low on the whole. They have decent shields,
Firing on the target.
but their hull isn't great. But they have a lot of like damage from range.
Ready to receive orders.
So if you can get in and brawl with them, they're not going to hold up as well. But if they can kind of kite back or start the fights on their terms, they're going to do a lot better. Which is part of where some of our struggles in the early game were coming from, because I was especially, or I wasn't really playing to their strength very well. But I've been improving as we've gone on here.
In your command. Engaging the enemy.
Sending Star Destroyer here.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Heavy destroyer stands ready.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Like with this, I got too close with this phalanx, and it's a strong ship, but it's not strong at those close quarters fights, so it's starting to take some damage from the goal, and plus that ISD
Yes, Commander.
turned out to be a bit much for it.
Target acquired.
Ready to receive orders. Ascendancy at the ready. Firing sequence
What do you
engaged.
need, sir?
Go after the stragglers.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Roger that.
Your command, sir.
Regroup for
Alright,
Moving out.
get into that.
Awaiting new instructions,
Heavy
Commander.
cruiser.
Warm up. Attack that target.
Shore fighters are actually doing stuff.
Intercepting.
Sending Star Destroyer here.
Ready to receive
Enemies in
orders.
range.
Ascendancy at the ready.
I'm on.
No, that's not a regular peltist.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Target
Get in there.
locked. Eliminating target.
Yes, Commander.
And we should start killing the golem now.
I have them now.
Yes, Commander.
Heavy destroyer stands ready. What do you need, sir?
Reporting in. We've got them on scope.
Alright, hopefully this will be down enough that when the ISD gets in range, we'll be able to switch to it.
Destroyer here.
I pull you out?
Star Destroyer comms
Lost a phalanx over there.
Orlais craft carrier here, Admiral.
ready to receive orders.
Intercepting.
Mega Mazer primed.
I'm on.
See if you can swap to the ISD now.
Ready.
Fall out. Stay in formation. Taking fire.
The Empire of the Hand also has really good firing arcs, so pretty broad firing arcs. Not as divided as the Lucrehulk, for example, which has all of its weapons split, but the Empire of the Hand does have pretty decent coverage on the back even, so if you are trying to use their speed to get out, they'll generally be able to still participate in a fight. Alright. Let's do more power to weapons, try to save the peltist here.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Destroyer.
Yes, Commander. All that
Breaches disabled. We're at drift,
What do
sir.
you need, sir?
Ready to receive orders.
Yep, they took out the main cannon.
Heavy cruiser on standby.
I've definitely been streaming too much. My voice has been
Star Destroyer comms
deciding to fail occasionally.
Heavy
Sending
cruiser.
Star Destroyer here.
ready to receive orders.
Okay.
Yes, Commander. Awaiting orders.
Stay in formation.
I copied.
Enemies in
We can get over to the station now.
behind them.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Alright.
Cruiser on
Cool.
standby.
There. Will there be a CIS holdout faction for the early era of Imperial Reign? Yes.
What do you need, sir? Firing on the target.
Target locked. Coming
Heavy
out.
cruiser. Awaiting your orders. Yes, Commander. Reporting in. Heavy cruiser on standby. Proceeding there now.
Thank you, Eck, for the $5 donation. Calling back to days gone by. The Rufus smokes. So what?
Intercepting.
Ready to receive orders.
Can we get some angry X in chat for the donation?
Mazers primed.
Sending Star Destroyer here.
Am I allowed to say that? Have I like infringed on some sort of copyright there?
Destroyer reporting in.
Heavy
Stay in
cruiser.
formation.
Awaiting your orders.
Ascendancy at the ready.
Alright. Biss,
Yes, Commander.
let's get bucked.
Star Destroyer comms open.
Enemies in range.
Heavy cruiser on standby.
Targeting at maximum fire.
Opening fire.
This is dead. This is
What do you
dead.
need, sir?
I'm kind of hoping the end of the GC might align with the
Ready to receive
end
orders.
of the,
Heavy cruiser.
or with the release of the mod.
Carrier here, Admiral.
I'm not sure what we're gonna play immediately after this one ends. You're gonna live? You lived.
Destroyer here. Target acquired.
Star Destroyer prompt open.
Intercepting.
Location locked. Heading out.
Shit. New copyright law. Will there be several groups that unite into the alliance similar to the CIS and FOTR? There will definitely be a representation of the fact that they are different rebel cells. And that'll probably show up a few ways. Some of it might be faction-based, some of it more based in like how you get certain units or heroes or story elements, more so than being specifically the units. Alright, we're gonna run into an HV gun there. Probably worth another save here, though. I am happy that my stability has significantly improved with the settings I changed, so that's good. You have a select command staff feature in Imperial Reign like there is for Father Republic and New Republic? I mean, maybe. That'd probably be a later decision. The Gmail storage is 75% full. Madrid has conquered Fondor as well. They're setting up a bunch more planets down here, and I don't like it. We just kicked them out of everywhere else.
Right away.
Riadu conquered Bespin. They had more than 2 connected there, because they had up to Bespin and Hoth. And I think they had Saijo recently as well. Alright. Invade Bis. Right now, the mercenary outfitters don't do anything in TR. They will change later.
Beginning construction.
Choose your reinforcements.
Right away. Moving out.
We don't have units for that.
Reporting. Reporting. Moving out. Heading out. Ball out. Let's move out. Ground target locked. Ready for attack.
Alright, sensor.
Fallout troops.
Construction complete.
Roger. Heading out. Waiting orders. Ready for recon. Orma.
Hints on what the mercenary. We don't know yet, so it's,
Ready to move.
I have no hints to give.
Ready. Gearing up. Almost there. Scanning the area. Waiting orders.
That is a set of reworks that are slated to happen, but have not been planned.
Yes, sir. Copy. Let's go. Keep going.
I'll let you guys just go flit about over there.
Roger.
Construction complete.
Let's go. Keep going. Copy. Reporting. Reporting.
I don't want to risk AA turrets too much, so we're gonna fly down this path first. Hey, look, it's that thing I said I didn't want to risk.
Initiating sweep. Over there.
Go us.
Reporting in. Keep going. Ready. On my
Can you
way.
go over to the side there and get ready to shell on that?
Scout trooper active. Watching for the enemy.
Moving to secondary position. Roger that. Warm up.
Alright. You get a support field base.
All right, men.
No, you guys are gonna go and do something stupid. Like fly into the wrong thing. Let's get another artillery piece there. Some of those and some of these. Now you can deploy.
Give me a target. Tank brigade here. Over there. Support order acknowledged.
Construction complete.
T4B mobile. I copy.
I think we can deploy here.
Copy.
And you know, we're safe going a little bit farther up there, and we'll get this as a nice vision place for us.
We secured a build pad.
Roger. Spread out, man. Warm up. Awaiting
We
orders.
secured a build pad.
I copy, sir. I copy. Form up.
Alright, now you can deploy.
Awaiting orders.
Everyone should be able to hit from here.
Yes, sir. I copy. Yes, Commander. Coming in. Right away.
Get that AA turret.
Avoiding fire.
Alright, we should be able to get another landing zone here.
Keep going.
And more goes in. Ooh, they're getting repairs on that. I'm actually going to use our bombing run there.
Moving to secondary position.
Okay, otherwise that would have been a lot of units shooting down at us when we were coming up, and that would have just been very damaging. Alright, up you go, up you go. Oh god, that's an AT-AT.
Ready. Weapons online. Yes, sir. Spearheading assault. Yes, Commander. This assault.
Finish the rest of that. You finish that.
Standing by.
Alright. We can bombard this. Which one should we bombard? Mock Palace. One facility. Mock Palace. Shit. Should have bombarded that one. The actual capital.
Ready to go. Order acknowledged. Moving out.
Thoughts on giving vehicles slightly larger spacing between other ground units? They always get way too close and clip a lot. The alternative to that is having them pathfind even worse. Like, it's generally better to err on the side of having stuff go inside each other rather than struggle to get anywhere.
Heading out. Right away. Moving out.
Do you have any types of truces between factions so that, let's say, 5 weeks you want to attack a faction, they won't attack you? That kind of, like, completely abstract diplomacy wouldn't work very well in how Empire War works. Then you just like have one border that you never have to worry about. There's not really much you can do to like build up your relationship. There'd have to be like a huge swath of other systems put in for diplomatic relationships, and it like Empire War is not especially well built for that.
Fire and wind. All out troops.
All right, is this it? Yep. Cool.
Copy.
We've got him.
System conquered.
So I guess K-List would be the next one we want to take.
Beginning construction.
The warm-up timer on the tank reset if you move it. So the cooldown of the weapon isn't impacted by moving. You can move it as much as you want, and it'll be fine. Oh, Kashyyyk revolted. Yeah. It doesn't have to, like, deploy to fire or anything like that.
Construction complete.
Let's get some vision.
Constructing unit. Building started.
Construction complete.
Will the Imperial government mechanics be in? There'll be something that we're hopefully going to be working on with the next version, with 3.2. Let's check the charts, actually. We get some more mines. We have 200,000 credits, so I think we're okay there. Apes is 18. We're at 12. The Republic's at 9. Now, Druid's at 7. Ariadu's at 16. Independence at 9. Empire's at 29 still. So they are the biggest threat. But where is that power all concentrated? Can they, like, invade Greater Maldruid? I don't know. Either way, I think we are going to leave it there for today. A much shorter stream than usual, but we did the whole playthrough on Friday, so I don't want to overload people with too much Empire at War. We will be back next Sunday with probably a longer stream, and we will maybe just take out the rest of this Greater Maldruid area. Probably leave Kuat for now, but we will have to see how we deal with the Empire, because they've kind of been pushed down to this area, which is really kind of rare for the Empire to be in these areas. They've been shoved out of the core for the most part. Like, they have these 3 planets, but we've got the most important one. Either way, hope you guys have enjoyed the stream, and hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.